Hey guys, so welcome to another week of e-learning. We're still working with adverbs, and again I'm going to combine this video for 7th and 8th graders. 8th graders, I'm on page 162 and 163 in your book. 7th graders, I'm on page 164 in your book. So if you need to pause me and get your books and go to those pages, that'll be fine. All right, guys, we're going to move into using adverbs as clauses. Some of the stuff that I'm going to give you is not going to be on these pages. You guys know how this curriculum kind of jumps about in your book, so just bear that in mind, and I may give you a couple things that are not in your book, so you just need to listen carefully, make sure you watch the video. We started out with adverbs as single words, and just a reminder about the questions that adverbs answer and the other parts of speech they modify. So remember that the questions adverb answer are when, where, how often, to what extent, why, and under what conditions. Particularly the why and under what conditions are important questions when we move into the phrases and the clauses where we are now. So adverbs can function as a single word. They can function as a phrase, and we talked about prepositional phrases being used as adverbs, already done that. And we talked about infinitive phrases, one of the types of the three verbals, the other two being gerunds and participles. So we talked about prepositional phrases being used as adverbs. We talked about infinitive phrases being used as adverbs. And so today we want to talk about clauses being used as adverbs. So on those 2 pages that I gave you, it reminds you what a clause is, and the 2 types of clause, independent clause and dependent clause. Independent clauses are the same things that we know as a simple sentence. It has a subject, a verb, and a complete thought. Dependent clauses have the subject and the verb, but they're missing the complete thought, and that's why they're dependent. They cannot stand alone. They need the independent clause to help them. We've already talked about noun clauses and adjective clauses, and so you shouldn't have any trouble with this because you kind of already know how we do this, and you're already familiar with the definition of clauses and the 2 types. So this is not new material to you. What is new maybe are the words that the adverb clauses begin with and the questions. So remember why and under what conditions are 2 of the main questions, but they might also answer any of the adverb questions, okay? Such as when. After I went to the store, comma, I went home. So after I went to the store would answer the question when. All right, also in the 7th graders, your chart is in a little brown box that says the common subordinating words. 8th graders, your chart is in a blue box, and it actually begins at the bottom of 162 and goes to the top of 163. Subordinating words, I want you to associate these with subordinating conjunctions. We have talked already about coordinating conjunctions. Those are the fanboys. We've talked about correlative junctions. That's the either or, neither nor, but also both and, the ones that we have 2 of. And so then we have subordinating conjunctions, or words as this curriculum calls them. And these are the words that are used to introduce adverb clauses. Now, some of them, may be used for other types of clauses or even as prepositions, and so you have to remember that what makes it a clause is that it has a subject and a verb. Okay, phrases do not. So you need to be familiar with these words, and as you work through your exercises, you're going to need to look for these words, and then for a group of words that follow them, make sure that group of words has a subject and a verb so that it will be a clause and not a phrase. Okay, so just as a reminder, clauses have subjects and verbs. Independent clauses have a complete thought. It's the same thing as a simple sentence. Dependent clauses don't have the complete thought. Adverb clauses are introduced by these subordinating words. Now, I don't think that your book necessarily gives you all of them, but these are the ones that we commonly use and you will commonly see. So these subordinating conjunctions you need to be familiar with. Be very careful with the as and the than, T-H-A-N, because sometimes in adverb clause we'll have what we call an elliptical clause. I know this word is not in your book, elliptical, but you do remember the ellipsis points, that's the ... So the elliptical clause means that some things are left out, such as this sentence. He can run faster than I. Now, a lot of you would say, well, I thought I ought to put me there. He can run faster than me. But really what the sentence says grammatically is, he can run faster than I can run. Now we can see the subject and the verb in there. So when you see as or than, be careful. If your adverb clause is at the beginning of your sentence, such as after I went to the